And so the writing now is a little harder. So
Right.
it's more about my, like I told a story, I think in Naples that happened that day. Is I went to a Bob Evans. I stopped to get lunch when I pulled into town, and Bob Evans was right by the hotel I was staying at. And so I went in and I went to open the door, and three older ladies. I mean, I'm old. They were older than me, but they came out and just as they're coming through the door, without saying hello or thank you, they just started listing off the litany of diseases and and inflictions that they had, why they couldn't open the door. It's like, oh, thank you. I have this. She didn't even say thank you. She goes, I got a bad knee. I got bad this. I got that. I got that. And the next one comes through and I got this and I got that. And I'm going, I have never opened a door for medical history before in my whole life. It was hysterical. And I started living and go, I'm in Florida.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Well, you know what?
Nobody says hello. They just go, I can't tell you how sick I am. I got this. I got that. I go, okay.
Well, just for example,
I started laughing going, that's me.
when you were testing a joke or something like that, do you have a go-to person or go-to people that you try it on and see what they think about it? No? You shook your head. I had to get the answer now.
Not now because I don't have access. I had for 18 years when I started in Portland. 3 years in to stand up, I moved to LA, and I lived in LA for almost 13 years. And when I came back to Portland, I came back for two reasons. First of all, the road had dried up. The shift was happening and it was difficult, and LA was expensive. And so I came back to Portland also because I had been working for 10 years with a really bad gallbladder, and I needed insurance and I needed to get things taken care of. So I came back to Portland, and my best friend put me to work part-time, saying, when you need to go do stand-up, just go. You still have health insurance and you can come back. It was a wonderful company. It was called Hannah Anderson. And so I found a community, because I'm working with the public, and there's nothing funnier than being on the phones with people because they will tell you everything.
Yes, you're
and
right.
I found, and then I had this whole call center that I could, if I had a thought, I would try it out on them. I would say something conversationally to see if there was a reaction. And that was golden. That was golden to have that. But now I've retired from that, and no, that doesn't,
Okay.
I don't I have some great comedy friends that I play with.
Okay. What's the one joke or bit you wrote that you thought was brilliant, but just completely bombed every time you used it? Should I skip that question? It's like a test, right?
Did I mention I'm 74? I can't tell you how many.
Yes, and you told me it was your birthday. It was your birthday when you were in Naples, right? I'm
It was
76, so we're close in age.
Yeah.
So
I can't. I mean, there's. I know there's one that I worked. I tried and it just couldn't get it to. There's some punchlines in a couple jokes that I keep or some bits that I keep because the rest of the bit's really good, but I can't get the rototill joke to get the laugh I need.
And they don't know what a rototill is.
It's amazing. I'm talking about horseback riding, and I get bounced off the back of the horse. I get my earring caught in the tail. I get drugged for 100 feet. Like my tits can rototill.
Right.
Which is funny to me.
It is funny.
It's hysterical. It's very visual. That's the other thing is our generation is very visual because we grew up with cartoons.
That's interesting. I never thought of that. That's really interesting.
Cartoons,
right?
That were written by Mel Blanc, who was throwing adult humor at us left and right.
Brilliant.
But these kids are not as visual. They don't see the action that I'm talking about.
Right.
They don't see it. It has to be presented to them in story form. It's an interesting you can always tell an older crowd will do better with some of my jokes because they're more visual than other people are.
That's
And
really
we grew up with
interesting.
radio, and radio, you had to visualize everything.
Right. You had to
I
use
mean,
your
I remember
imagination.
listening. Yeah, you listen to The Shadow and all,
Mm-hmm.
Dagwood and Molly. What anyway? Yeah, all those radio shows that my grandparents used to listen to, and I'd sit and play in color on the floor and listen to all these great radio shows. My grandmother, when they got finally got a TV. She put a big pot, a big, planter pot under the TV set. And I was over there playing one day, and she says, "Don't look in that pot." And I said, "Why?" She says, that's where all the dead Indians go when they do the westerns."
How old were you when
I
that
never.
happened? You never used
I
that
was
line.
probably.
How
I was
old were
probably
you?
7 or 8. I was
But you
probably
still
7.
remember that, don't you?
Oh my God! I didn't look in that pot for years. I was like, "No, that's where all the dead things go when they fall out of the TV set when they die." Honest to God. My grandmother was from Ireland, and she had little Irish rosy cheeks. She was just hysterical. She was so funny. But of course, she was pulling my legs. She knew, but I was that stupid. And so she was
But you
having
were a
fun with a
kid.
dumb kid.
Yeah. I mean,
My God.
you were just one stage above believing in Santa Claus.
Oh, I believed in Santa Claus till I was almost 13. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just like, I was like, no, don't mess with Santa. But anyway, no, it's very funny. But again, very visual. We were very visual. We had to imagine things. Um, so
Very
I noticed
perceptive.
that. Yeah.
Okay. I've got another
Yeah,
question
go
for
ahead.
you.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the strangest or most surprising location you've ever been asked to perform a set? Are these questions too tough for 74-year-old women? That's what I need to know.
No,
Oh,
no, there's
okay.
just so many. There's so many. I was working in Iowa, and
Well,
I
that's a
was in,
story in itself.
yeah. I was working in Iowa, not Rapid Cities. What's the other one? Cedar Rapids. I was working in Cedar Rapids. And I've been there many, many times. Nice people. Uh, but this young guy who was running the club, he and his dad were running the club, said, "Oh, listen, our club is participating in the festival in town, and we want you to perform. We're going to give you just do 15 minutes at this festival, and we'll pay extra money." Well, I'm there. I went, "Okay, sure." I don't know. So they get me there. There's pigs in this
Where you're going
corral.
in a corral. So you're
And then
performing
there's
in
a
a
stage in
corral.
the middle of there's a stage. There's a stage in the middle of this corral surrounded by pigs with a microphone. And they said, "We want you to wear this pig nose."
Hey.
Now, at that time, I'm a big gal now, but I was much bigger for many years since I was a kid because of my bad knees. But that broke my heart. I just couldn't, I was like, I can't do that. I can't, my self-esteem just could not take that. That's what it just couldn't take that. I said, I won't wear the nose. And they go, "Well, could you just put it up here?" No, no, you don't. I'm not getting in the pig pen with the pigs. Anyway, and I don't eat pork, so that's the other thing. But anyway, so that was one. Another one was they wanted me to climb. Most comics have had to perform at one time or another on a pool table
It's in a bar, I presume.
because the venue is. Yeah, it was a big brew pub, and they had part of an Etzel that the old car Etzel, they had cut it in half and put it like it's coming through the wall, and then there was all these pool tables, and then there was audience kind of around the pool tables. I was like, and this was a chain of a fairly nice hotel chain that was doing this, and they had this big bar, and they had no way for me to get up on the pool table. And
Okay.
then I found out that the plywood that they had put on this pool table was 1/4 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm going to go through this plywood. This is not going to hold me. And how am I going to get on this? Those are humiliating things. And those are, yes, I was asked to do things like that. That was
Too much.
you know.
So wait a second. But did you do it?
And I
No, wait a
will say
second.
not all.
Did you do it? Did you
No,
get up?
no, I
Oh,
didn't
you
do it.
didn't.
No,
Okay.
I couldn't, I couldn't, self-preservation does kick in. And
Yes.
the problem is that I had no way of gracefully getting up on this stage and then getting off of this pool table. And they had this little tiny ladder that it was dangerous. And the way I got out of it, I said, I'll be happy to do that. Let me call my lawyer. And they said, what? I said, because when I fall, I'm going to own this place. This is so against OSHA. This is so against, and I started, telling them you are in violation of so many things right now. And they backed off and they said, we'll put something together. So they put milk cartons. Don't get me started. I finally just ended up doing the show on this, leaning against the Etzel, standing in a space about this wide. I put my feet there and I leaned against the Etzel and I did my show like this, leaning against the Etzel.
Well, you managed to get through.
Yeah.